comment? Either of you fine folks like to say something?
Yeah, I have some questions. Oh,
Please, you may as well be formal about it. Go ahead.
doesn't work. Robert Linden, West Rock Hill. I hope tonight you would be able to, since you haven't had a technology meeting for such a long time, bring us up to date on various subjects and cover what happened since the last meeting and since last year. I'd like to know about thin client use. Last year there was last I heard there was going to be a lot of installation of thin client. And I wondered if that happened and how that worked out. And also I'd like to understand about how much you're using JLR, and you continue to use JLR, and how much money you're spending with that company.
Thank you. And will we deal with those in the course of the meeting?
Inclined.
Okay. Do you want to start, Randy? I'll get out of the way so we'll start.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming out for the Technology Committee meeting. I will start by saying that it's been a sort of busy year. We've been really busy. Last time I came to you, we talked about VDI, which we also thin client. As of today, we have installed over 400 plus devices, all at one time, operating all at one time. We have it installed in all the middle school labs, high school labs. We have about 25 to 30 administrative secretarial staff using them. There's been some growing pains. We got the environment going. It hasn't been down. The times that it's been down is because of a software update or something happening in the background. We're always looking at how to better the system. We are ready to look at possibilities for the elementary with this option. And so really, we're solid. It's a solid product, and every day is used, and we're getting results of it. The one-to-one, and the technical aspect of one-to-one, we are serving 658 units. As of Friday, we had 112 units under warranty, and we had 60 damaged, drops, cracks, etc., etc. We are keeping a really close look at those items because depending on that warranty work, that number of warranty work is the number that we're going to be looking at when we go ready for the next round, because that number, if I don't want it too high because that tells me something, and yet one of the good aspects about that is something positive, is that the company that we're using for the warranty work is really good. We get machines back the next day. We have loaners, and the loaners go out to the students as well. So we never have a student without a system. I guess that's my point. And I'm going to be looking at those numbers and trends, what type of repairs later on, and I'll have that information by the end of the school year. We, about, maybe sometime in October, November, we started to think about how we're going to exchange or migrate or convert the elementary teacher computers. And we started doing some research on the current Apple hardware inventory that we have. And I realized that these systems are 2 to 3 years old, and it would have not been a feasible or I want to call it even irresponsible to exchange them or to get rid of them. So we went to task, and we went to research. We did some research, and we installed Windows on the Apple computers, and I tested over Christmas, and I'm like, this is working really well. And we asked one of our schools, out of elementary schools, Siler, to, would you be willing to provide a teacher that will give them a Apple with Windows installed on it and let this teacher go to town, and we got that. Teacher was very excited. We allowed them to work on it for two weeks. And then I asked the principal, would you be willing to convert your school? And he said, let's do it. Well, that's what we did. We did batches of 10 computers. We installed Windows. First round, yes, we had some, oops, we forgot this, oops, we should do this. And we got to the point that the second batch, we had less problems. And to make the long story really short, we have converted all the buildings but the second half of Diabler, and we're going to do grass in the next 2 weeks. It is going extremely well. The teachers are embracing the technology. It works really fast, faster than the Apple operating system. It's working, and we're really excited about that. The next piece to this project is, I went back to Siler and I talked to Miles and I said, how about your lab? I would love to convert your lab. And he said, give me a couple of days to think about it. And today, this morning, we had a conference call and he volunteered again, and we're going to convert his lab on the 22nd and 23rd of April. It'll take us about an hour, but we're going to do it overnight. Come in early in the morning, make sure that they work, and then allow the students. And we're going to have Chris Brockman, which is our integrator, to facilitate that component of this transition, because it's very easy for me to convert a computer, but it's not that easy when we have teachers that have to deliver content and curriculum. So he's going to be in the lab, we're going to be in the lab to make sure that the students can log onto the system, get everywhere they want to go, and the transition is smooth. Now, with that said, so let's say everybody's happy, then we got to talk about the other buildings, and I'll be talking with the curriculum office to make sure that this is something that we can do still in the school year, or we wait till the summer. And one of the reasons, and by the way, I met with every group of teachers. We broke them up in two, like I said earlier, and I explained to them why we were doing this, what was the outcome. We followed up with them, we explained, and we got questions like, why are you doing this now? Why didn't you wait for the summer? And to be frank, I answer with, well, I really didn't want to bring the truck over the summer and dump new systems for you when you come back in August and be totally different. And they appreciate that. They appreciated the time that we're spending with them, holding their hands through this transition. Is it 100%, Rosie? Yeah, but those that need help is because of fear, and we are holding their hands, especially Chris Brockman is doing a great job of that.
I have some questions.
Yes.
Should I wait for just about this discussion? Okay, with the one-to-one.
Can you use your mic, please?
So, with the one-to-one, you said with the warranty work, there's loaners, and then they're always returned in a day, the ones that are getting fixed?
Yes.
Have you had any computers, the same ones going out, or are they all 112 different computers?
We're keeping track of that, and that information I don't have in front of me. I will say this, we have identified like 2 or 3 that they kept breaking, and when I say breaking, they kept shutting down, and the company exchanged the motherboard and everything, that the possibility of what the problem was. We're not seeing accident repeats, with a few exceptions.
We're not seeing accidents. Okay. And you didn't say how long do the students get a loaner when they have an accident?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When the way that the process works is the student comes in the morning, goes to the library, and they check in and check out, just like a book. So they check in their laptop, they check out a laptop, and they take it with them. And then our high school technician goes to the library after all the students are in, and she collects those systems. She makes sure that the loaner pool is, the system's in there. Then she takes her system, she checks them real quick. If there's something that she can fix, fine. If not, she creates a ticket and emails the company, and they come and pick them up either that same day or the next day.
Is there usually somebody who needs a loaner every day?
I don't have that information.
Okay. And do the students get a loaner if they forget their computer for the day?
Yes, and that is managed by the library. When it comes to that piece, we don't get involved, that the library does.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and so, and how long are the computers usually out if there was an accident or if they're damaged?
The aging of the tickets for the company that is less than a week. Especially, they have parts. We run into at times as a delivery issue because they're in Allentown. So a lot of times it's overnight. I can't recall of any system because I get these reports weekly. And I don't recall anything that is longer than, because I would have said something. 3 days is unacceptable to me.
Okay. And then you said that you still have to do half of Diabler and then all of Grass. Is that going to happen before you do the lab at
Well,
Siler?
The last week of Grass will be right in there with Siler. So I believe that the 26th is Grass, the last group of Grass, and then we're doing the 22nd and the 23rd at Siler Lab.
So why is the main part of Grass being done after the lab at Siler?
It's just, there's no correlation, it's just that we scheduled that today. So we had the Grass scheduled already, and when Siler and I had the conversation today, we just picked that day because it worked on their schedule.
And so when is Grass being started?
The day after, the 16th.
The 16th, and then it takes 10 days, you do
Well,
some each
we
day?
do,
or-
so here's what happens, we have two groups, and then the first group, we allow them to play with their system, to use their system, in case something would happen. When we first started the project, we wanted to give them some time so we can go back in and repair anything if we had to. So, since it started that way and we finished that way, and to be honest with you, we could have done Bedminster in one day, but we chose to break them up in two. The only, one, is because it was already scheduled like that, and two, we wanted to provide that level of support to the teacher.
Okay.
And,
I have a question. I thought Matt Smith said in the academic performance committee meeting that if a kid forgot their computer, they were not given a replacement because he wanted there to be some kind of consequences if you just not forgot your computer.
Yes, and that is handled by the library. We, in the technical side, we don't get involved in that piece.
Okay.
I would like to report to you about the help desk and the company that we outsource the help desk. As of the 3rd, actually we create a report every week and we send it to the principals, the admin, my staff, of all the tickets that have been open, closed, and held for that week. So as of the 3rd, we had 36 open. In fact, today we have about low 40s. We have closed 5,091 tickets, and we have 17 tickets on hold. Those are the laptops that go away, we're waiting for a part, we're waiting for the teacher to come back to us. There's a number of reasons why we put them on hold. We don't keep them in the WIP, in the inventory, in the aging, when we know that it's going to take more than 2 days. And because of that, our average ticket open is 1 day and 13 hours. So that's a 2-day turnaround for a ticket, so nothing is open more than that. We close the ticket within a day and a half, and we hold the tickets for 27 days. And that one there, we're refining what we're putting on hold, because a lot of time we ask a question to the teacher, and we put it on hold, and they never get back to us. So we have to stay on top of that piece.
This isn't just one-to-one.
No, this is the entire district,
Oh, okay.
yes.
What's the difference between the open ticket 1 day, 13 hours, and the closed ticket 1 day, 4 hours? Because you're saying tickets on average remain open for 1 day and 13 hours.
Yes,
So what's the closed tickets?
those are the ones, that's the average that it takes to close them.
And then what's the open ticket?
That's how long they stay open.
Isn't that the
No,
same
because
thing?
they could be on hold. You see, an open ticket stays open even if it's on hold. See, we open the ticket, clunk, it starts ticking. We respond to it, it stops clicking. When we respond, it stops the timer. And then we either close it, put it on hold.
Okay.
So I guess open ticket, we respond to a ticket no later than a day and 13 hours.
That it takes for a first response. That doesn't make sense
That
either,
doesn't make
because when you
sense.
close them, your average for closing them is shorter than.
And I understand your question. I will get a solution to that, and I will email you my answer.
Okay. Thanks.
We have a new initiative that the board approved, I believe it was last month, and we're calling it Follow Me Printing. And what it is that a teacher from, or even a staff member from any building can print out to a queue, and they can collect the printout anywhere in the district. So some teachers that go between buildings, that they print at Bedminster, they can go to Slider, for example, and put in their employee number, and the paper comes out. Today, we started Bedminster. Bedminster it's going to be a pilot and a fact-finding school for us for this project. So what that really means is that we're only going to populate the buildings for teachers to print off of copiers, and those little printers, those little HP, the LaserJets, they're all going to go away. This is a process. This is not something that we can bring the truck in and let's do it real quick. Today, we started to do it. The company ran into a little glitch with one of the printers, their printers, and we're going to come back to it either later this week, and we're going to complete that. Once we do Bedminster, we're going to go back to them and get feedback, because that's how I'm going to move to the next building. We believe, just by the best practice of the product and other school districts, that we will have a savings in our printing cost once the project is implemented and we can move forward with it. So far, Bedminster, when I talked to them for Bedminster, I was expecting a reaction, and they were very, they wanted it. One, because now the printers are going to work for them, especially the small printers. And second, printers will be secured and they will print faster for them. So we got good feedback, even though the system's not even in place. So they're very excited to see this happen. We're actually very excited to see this happen. The company is excited to see this happen, because it will stop, if you will, the repair of the little printers that are out there, that the cost is just tremendous. We are also working in the background with a product called SharePoint. That's going to be our intranet. It will help us to share documents. It will help us have departments post and give us information, especially for the board. The project, the way that I'm looking at it, the first piece of the project is going to be the school board, and then we're going to go out to the departments. For example, the forms, we can have forms for HR, we can have forms for business office, etc., etc. So this is not something that we could do overnight. This is something that I've been reading and working on since early January. I went to a school this past week to get a review of what I've created, and when I got positive feedback, I got a lot of insight on which way to go. And you'll be seeing some information of that in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so then we go to the summer and to next year, right? So this summer, the way that it's turning up, the way we're looking at it as we're planning it, it's going to be 9 weeks and 2 days of summer. And in that, we will be collecting, cleaning, re-imaging, and deploying back the first year 121 laptops. Then the second year laptop, if approved, we have to order it, prepare it, image, and deploy. I've been creating a summer list, working with my staff to make sure that we have every component of the summer in place. And we're ready to, it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a long summer, but it's only 9 weeks and 2 days. We will be doing the elementary labs, like I mentioned before, converting those. We will be replacing the MacBooks at the elementaries. We will be performing maintenance and cleaning on all desktops at the secondary level in the admin building. And we will be increasing wireless capacity where needed. That, in a nutshell, is our summer. There's a lot of work to be done. So we have some proposals to Kathy about staffing, summer staffing. We also are thinking when we're ready to image, to have perhaps a overlapping shift. So we start imaging at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we could potentially stop imaging at 11 o'clock at night. And I think we can get it done. My staff is up to the task. My job is to get them excited to do this, so we started already to talk about it. The way that the 2014-15 budget looks like, and the purchase professional and technical service, $316,500. That includes Microsoft agreement, the help desk, consulting services, an additional. We're looking for an additional outsourced high school technician if the 1-to-1 project move forward. Right now, today, Danielle takes care of the entire high school. She doesn't take a rest. I mean, sometimes I tell her, come on, let's go have lunch, because she works hard, long hours, a very good employee. But if we're going to add 650 new units next year, we will need another technician at the high school. On the purchase services property side, it's $164,494. Other services, $45,400. Supplies, $278,260. Total budget, and the property, $45,100. Total budget, $861,354. We have a budget of $100,000, and Kathy's going to talk about this. We will be purchasing a wireless controller for redundancy, some server blade redundancy, and a backup to enhance our backup units. And also contingency in case something would happen to our current hardware. One of and I'll touch base on this real quick. One of the conversations that I had with Kathy is that, okay, we are doing the conversion for the elementary computers. However, there's about 200 and something. One of them is something's gonna happen to one of them. It's just the way it is. And we need to have a couple machines on our shelf in case something would happen, so we can deploy right away. And I think we have a good plan for that, in case something would happen to those systems.
Yes, this budget of $100,000, right now, if you were to look at the budget online for the technology transfer, there's $680,000 in there. That is being reduced to $100,000. So again, when we put this budget together, in October, we did not have a specific plan. Mr. Torado was still putting together his plan for what we were going to be replacing, what we thought maybe failing. So again, we did the same thing that we did in 13-14. We started out with $680,000 in the transfer. In 13-14, we reduced that to $500 and some thousand, round number. This year, we are reducing that number now to $100,000, and I truly believe that will be sufficient to cover the things that we know that we're we'd like to purchase, the wireless controller for redundancy, the backup, and the server blade. This will be sufficient to carry the technology department through next year.
Any questions?
Can you just go back to the other budget numbers, because you went through them kind of fast? We'll stop right there, the 861,
Next slide, next slide.
that, now Kathy, that's everything, what, related to the technology?
That is everything that's related to technology, and in fact, in the 13-14 budget, when we were budgeting, and I don't have the exact number with me, but there was close to $400,000 in what we call the 015 cost center, which would have been my cost center, which we transferred all that over into technology, so that now the technology pretty much is under one umbrella, under David's, David's watching over that. So at the end of the day, David and I worked on this. Actually, this number is about $15,000 less than what we budgeted for in the 13-14,
In the two different
in the
categories?
two different categories, right? But this one also includes, which last year in 13-14, when we did the budget, I'm talking budget to budget, did not include leasing, because the leasing was actually still down in the budgetary transfer. This one includes the leasing for this year's models. It includes the leasing for next year's models. So this, yeah. The only thing that's not included here is that the three things that David listed, the redundant controller,
The blade.
the blade, and the third thing, sorry. Once we get final pricing on that, we may get that moved up into his budget as well. So the only thing that will be remaining down in the transfer will be the leftover dollars for contingency.
So the $100,000 is contingency, but it's
A
not.
portion of it, a portion of $100,000 is contingency.
Why isn't it in the technology?
We haven't gotten the pricing yet, and that's how we've always done the kind of infrastructure things. We've done transfers, but it makes no sense to do transfers. So what I would like to do is, as soon as we, before we approve the final budget, is to actually get the numbers up into the line budget item. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Transfer from
From
what?
We use the transfer technology infrastructure from the general fund over to capital projects, and then make the purchase out of capital projects. There's no need to be doing that. That was a step that was, unless we were doing it as a leftover number to start to build up, infrastructure dollars for future large infrastructure projects. It just doesn't make any sense. Again, it was something that was done when I came here, and last year we didn't do it, and we're not doing it this year.
Are the new one-to-one, the one-to-one computers in here?
No, they're under program improvement and max. Again, if you look at technology, the technology budget, you can think of that, that's the replacement budget. We replace things out of technology. New programs come in through program improvement, and once they come in and they need to be replaced, then David gets the replacement parts. We move it from, so all those things that come in for program improvement ends up in someone else's budget eventually. Program improvement is usually one-time dollars, and then ongoing expenses then become part of the someone else's budget.
So this is $15,000 less than last year's, is that what you're saying?
Are you gonna send this to us?
We visit on the
Can
website as well.
you go back to the first budget slide?
Stop it.
So can you send us what we spent last year on similar items, or, what we budgeted and then maybe the actuals for the year before?
Some of these things would not, some of those things would not have been there the year before, but we can give you the budget to budget numbers. If you'd like to see that.
Yeah.
No, she wants to see
I'd
actual.
like to see the actual also for, so it would be the budget for 13-14 and the actual for 12-13.
That will look much different.
Yeah.
It's going, because the cost centers have changed, I'll do the best I can do. That's the best I can can offer at this point. Because when things were done a little bit differently, when they were split between Mr. Jamaris and the business office, and now we put everything back together.
So you won't have a good comparison
I
until
know.
next year? Till
Yeah,
next year.
till next year will be your best comparison. I can try to work something up for you, it's not something I can go and just
Right, you
upstairs.
can just start with the budget to budget, it's fine, and then if we need more information, then we can ask,
So there's other stuff we're leasing other than the one-on-ones? I didn't realize that. It
Yes.
says middle school desktop and monitors.
We leased the middle school desktops and the monitors that we purchased last year.
Oh,
All the
okay.
middle schools, yes.
Release the ones we purchased?
That, well,
Well, that we used,
that we issued a purchase order for.
Oh, we released them instead?
Yes,
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
We have to, we have to
break of communication here.
Right, well, we have to purchase them
We
with
have
a
to buy
purchase,
them.
we have to purchase them with a purchase order. But the payment to the vendor is in place. So we're,
Can you go one more, then go back to the, I'm not back, I need to go forward with this, okay, I just want to see.
You'll forward these PowerPoints to us.
Yes.
What's the internet ISP cost for the IU?
That is 38.
What does that mean?
That is our connection from, so the way it looks at it, from here, we connect to the IU, and from the IU, it goes up to the internet. That cost, that's what that is.
Okay, and then travel technician is,
That's for them to go between buildings.
Buildings.
Now, that number, we have some rules to that, you know, they only go to a building. If they have to, they can be bouncing around, you know, so there's some rules to that. We try to keep that low.
Are we still outsourcing our tech aides? Weren't we outsourcing at one?
last year, we actually did outsource one technician. He left, and we got a job someplace else. That was not the best, it didn't work as well as we would have, it didn't work as well as we would have liked it. And then you hired Danielle.
Right.
So we hired one person internally. We're looking to, actually, the folks that run the help desk, the folks that run the help desk.
The company that runs the help desk is from Pittsburgh, and they are in the business of providing outsourced personnel to school districts. That's what they do, especially in the technology side. And once we, about halfway into the agreement with the help desk, they approached me about if you ever need employees, technicians, we can provide that to you. Kathy and I sat down with the analysis costs, and we found out that we will save money by hiring an outsourced technician. With that said, I was very firm into how soon can I get them if I tell you that I need one, what are the rules of engagement with this person, et cetera, et cetera. And those are details that we have to just talk about. They will hire locally. The person will be their employee. They will work under our calendar. They just report to us. They're part of our department. It's just that they get paid by outside company.
And we're willing to try this again, because we do need an additional person for the one-to-one. We now have a staff. Again, last year we were fragmented, we didn't really have someone, that could, the gentleman actually had to work on his own a lot under his own direction. It was not the best situation for him.
You didn't want that be outsourced.
Right, so again, plus the fact we cleaned out all the old computers and the amount of chasing after themselves, just trying to keep things running, we really were not set up for outsourcing with what we had as far as our actual hardware and the shape that it was in. So I said to David, I'm willing to try it again. So this company, we have a good rapport with this company, they've been working quite well with us, with the help desk, so we're hoping that the reputation follows with
Yeah, I think
an outsourced. If not, it's outsourced, and
everything.
make a decision.
They just bring it in for the help desk and then
If the board approves it, obviously it's all to the contract.
They don't go out bid for anything.
Now, Mr. Linden asked the question, but aren't these working? But I actually was curious, before he had mentioned that about JLR, are we still using him as a consultant?
Yes, we used JLR, we used BCIU, we used a number of consultants to assist the technology department. Because if you remember, we said we were not going to hire high-end network folks because on day in, day out, that's not what we need them for. We need other types of technicians.
Right.
So how much are we spending with JLR?
Don't have that.
Well, it would have to be all the consultants that have to do it.
But that's not in this budget.
It is,
I
yes.
would-
Oh, it is in this
Yeah,
budget?
it's
Yes.
all
It's
consulting
all-
is in this budget, yeah.
Where is it listed?
Part of the 300 of professional purchase and technical
It'll be,
services.
Oh, so it's
part of the
yeah,
360.
But she didn't give any detail.
That would be in the training and development section?
It's right
there.
Yes.
See, it's right there. It's right there on the top line.
All those things combined equals 316.
Would it help if I do a right to know for all the invoices for JLR?
Do that.
I'll do that then.
any other question? Well, thank you. And the last thing I want to say is that, again, thank you for allowing me to be a director of technology. We have a really good crew. I enjoy coming to work every day. There's something new going on at Pennridge every day. It's a really fun place, and my staff, they really enjoy it, and I just want to thank you for that.
I'd like to second that, David. David has really pulled together a really good staff, and they're very attentive. And I'm hearing wonderful things. The elementaries are thrilled because they kept feeling like they were the stepchildren. They weren't getting any attention. David and his staff are making sure that they're doing that. We have a new principal, Mr. Rowe, who's really into technology. He has somebody on his staff that is, so it's like one of those things that kind of snowballs. You get the people on the ground that feel comfortable, and they have the support, and it's just taking off like wildfire. So I'm very happy with what I'm seeing.
I'm glad you took care of the elementary school too.
Yes, that became, you know, when
It's not a visual.
just to, as I said this earlier, but once we started this elementary project, I told my team, this is priority. In fact, we told the teachers, when you send a help desk ticket on the subject, please put Windows in the name of your building. When that comes through, we stop, we answer it, we get remote into their computer, we call them. You know, I've met all the elementary teachers, they know who I am now. Yeah, we're just taking care of them. And we do the same thing at the middle school and at the high school. High school not as much because Danielle is over there, but we try to get around to all the buildings and see what's going on with the teachers, and especially with Chris. Chris, his calendar, I saw it this morning I saw his calendar. He's busy. So that's a really good thing.
Okay, any other questions or comments from
What's the procedure for hiring consultants? Is there a bid procedure? Is there a specification procedure? Do you write specifications? Do you have a contract? You hired Questeg for your help desk. Are you going to get them to manage the IT department as well? Or other duties? Is that contract going to grow within Pennridge until it handles everything? Maybe. How do you do that? You don't go out and get bids, do you? How do you decide on what vendor to use?
Well, part of it comes to us from recommendations and ones that we've worked with as we look for pricing. As we said, we use a different vendor to provide the first outsourced tech person. We were not satisfied with those services. So again, we went to look for another vendor that provided that, looked for the cost, and we believe this is the company that will provide again, we have a working relationship with them. So we will give these folks a try. This is the only new vendor that I'm aware of that we will be working with next year as far as outsourcing.
I didn't hear that last part.
I said, as far as I know, it's the only new vendor that we will be looking for to outsource.
But Quest Tech, how did you come across that? You worked with them before?
They came to us via BCIU. I was at a technology meeting, we were talking about this same issue about outsourcing departments, and Mr. Mark Hoffman brought up the name. I knew of them because of my dealing in technology and education, and I gave them a call, and they have a resume, they have other schools, we called other schools, so we just didn't pick them, we did our...
Did you get some price comparisons?
No, because the only comparison that we had was E+, and they were charging us upward $55 an hour. Consulting services, when it comes to this level, are not they're very expensive, especially if they do it by the hour. So we already had the $55 an hour, so when we went to Quest Tech, we did the analysis and we said, wow, it's a savings. And the number that they gave us, that is still a number, we haven't even talked about them about what that entails, but we believe that we will be saving dollars.
They didn't give you a price? You hire them by the hour?
No, we will not hire them by the hour.
That's an apple-orange comparison, then, isn't it? $55 an hour versus not by the hour?
We have a quote.
Any other comments or questions?
I'm disgusted enough.
Yeah, so will we vote on that new consultant? Do we have to?
I think I said, we haven't, this is the
Okay, so it'll
budget
come
based
through, okay.
on when these new contracts are.
Okay, and I just have one other small question I forgot to ask earlier. For the first year the students, the ninth graders now, they turn their computers and they get re-imaged. When do they get to pick them up? Which the anticipated time?
In fact, Matt and I, we've been talking about that. How is that going to look like when they come back? The first thing that we decided is that we're going to give the student the same laptop. So that right there, we have to figure out how we're going to do that, and we already have some ideas. We believe the first or second week of the school year they'll get their laptops.
So not in the summer?
Matt and I are talking about that. It's just,
I don't think so.
there's a lot to that. It sounds like a great, in fact, I would say give you a better idea, let's just let them take them home on some days. However, that's a headache. So Matt and I, we talk almost every day about how we're gonna do this, and I think that the first or second week is very doable. And he brought it up again, but we haven't finalized anything, so.
One of the issues that we do have to deal with is the fact that the budget isn't passed until mid-June. That's when the computers are ordered for a delivery after July 1st, because I can't take delivery until after July 1st.
I'm not talking about the new computers,
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the ones,
Okay.
the students going into 10th grade,
Oh,
they're
okay,
getting their
sorry.
same computers back.
I can guarantee you that Matt and I talk about it a lot, and he has some ideas, and we talk about it. It's
Well, I'm sure whatever way you do it this year, then I guess there'll be discussion again and see if there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, we believe it or not, the first year, the ninth grade, we have it down. I mean, it went so well, and so we're gonna just emulate it again.
Right.
So when we do this year, next year, we're emulating it again. And by the way, we are asking other school districts that
Yeah,
have a
that's what it
one-to-one, and they all shake their heads, it's never easy to do that. But we are going to do everything that we can to make it a Pennridge way in the right way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, I guess we're adjourned. Thank you all.